Hello my friends, and welcome to the first haul that I am doing of 2022. And yes, it is a little soon. We are about to be in the second week of January and I've already bought books, and you know what? I am not sorry. I decided not to make a New Year's resolution that I was going to read every book that I owned because I think it's unrealistic and I don't want to set myself up for failure. So I knew I was going to buy new books pretty much at the start of the year. So, you know, we all have our flaws, and mine is buying books when I don't need them. But I don't really care. I'm just gonna move on and just go with it. So I'm gonna show you what I got. I have a lot of interesting books, and I don't know, I'm really excited about them. I hope they're all good. So let's get into this haul. So the first thing I picked up is the new Junji Ito. This is Deserter, and I wanted this one because I love Junji Ito. I buy everything he does just because I'm insane, but I also bought this because I am participating in Junji January on Instagram. It's by Cassie. I will link her profile down in the description box in case you want to check her out. She's amazing. She's super sweet. But she created this like readathon, reading challenge, reading whatever you want to call it, for the month of January, where we just read stuff by Junji Ito. And so I was like, yes, okay, perfect, because I have a ton of things that I haven't actually read by him yet. I just buy them and then pick them up when I can and read them. So I had a few that I hadn't gotten to yet, and then this one just came out and I was like, okay, perfect. I'm just gonna have a Junji Ito binging thing for January. So this is his newest short story collection, which are my absolute favorites by him. I prefer his short story collections except for Uzumaki. Uzumaki is like my favorite, but I love his short stories, so I'm very, very, very excited for this one. I've heard really good things, so I can't wait to get into this one. I might save it for last because I just want to savor it, but yeah, I'm very excited to read this. I can't wait. Okay, the next book that I am about to haul is something that I am not sure how I'm going to feel about it. I think it could go either way. I think I could be in love with it or I could absolutely hate it. So I'm very nervous. But that is The Deep by Alma Katsu. One, look at this cover. Look at how absolutely beautiful this cover is. I will say mine came damaged. Look at that right there. I have a rip. Ugh, how heartbreaking. But the cover is stunning. I will say this is kind of why I went with it. I know. I'm a cover buyer. You know this. But this is a horror novel, but it's also a historical fiction horror novel, which I'm going to be honest, I'm not a historical fiction kind of person. I don't really like historical fiction like ever. I think it's very, very rare that I end up liking something that is on the historical fiction side, so I am nervous for this one. But this is about the Titanic and the Britannic, and it involves ghosts, and so I'm intrigued because I love learning about the Titanic. I think it's very interesting, and I've always thought that the idea of, like, you know, the Titanic, you know, hitting the iceberg and stuff was very scary. So I think this could be an interesting concept for a horror novel. You know, it's gonna depend on how it's like done for me. I've heard great things about this author. I know that this author also wrote The Hunger, which is another historical horror fiction novel, and it's about the Donner Party, which I did go back and forth between this one and that one to try first, but I ended up settling with this one because I don't know, it drew me in a little bit more. but I'm nervous. I've heard great things about this author, I have, but I just, with me and historical fiction, I don't know. So I'm very nervous for it. I think it sounds really, really cool, and I like the addition of ghosts, so I think I could really like this, but I'm nervous. So if you've read this, please let me know if you liked it. If you've read The Hunger, also let me know, because I might get that one as well. So let me know what you've thought of these. Next up is a book that I specifically bought for winter because I'm kind of obsessed with reading winter books in winter. It's a very fun vibe. I highly recommend it if you aren't doing it already. It's a lot of fun, and we don't have snow here. We did a few weeks ago, which I don't like snow, but I love snow settings in books. They are some of my absolute favorite, just because I think it's super scary and spooky and atmospheric, and it's just really creepy, and I think it adds so much to the story. But I don't actually like the snow, so when it actually snows, I'm like, ugh. But in books, I'm like, yes. So I did kind of try to get a lot of snowy books because I'm feeling it. And so I picked up Shiver by Ali Reynolds. So from what I can gather, this is about friends who kind of have this reunion in France. It's like at a ski resort, and they're having this reunion because they haven't seen each other in like a decade or a really long time. And then when everyone gets there, the place is deserted, and then they're kind of just stuck there. And then of course, like it says, it starts as a reunion, it ended with murder, so I'm assuming there's gonna be murder involved. So this kind of has everything that I want: an isolated setting, snow, people you can't trust, people with motives, that kind of thing. I think it has a really, really good setup and a good premise, so I think this one could be a really, really, really good one. I'm very excited. But you know, I mainly got it because of the snow and the winter setting. That's just kind of my thing lately, so I am very excited for this one. Also, the cover is very cool. Look at that. It kind of does freak me out, I'm not gonna lie. I think snow is very scary. I don't like snow. Next up is a book that I bought for the cover. Are we surprised? You shouldn't be. That's kind of my whole thing. I actually don't know much about this book. I also think this one could be kind of out of my, you know, my realm, just be a little bit different than I usually gravitate towards. But I saw a lot of people on Instagram talking about this one, and they said it was really good, so I was kind of like, okay, you got me. But this is Lake's Edge by Lyndall Clipstone, I think. But look at this cover. Isn't it beautiful? Ah, look at that. It's so gorgeous. Oh my goodness, that hair. Look at that hair. Stunning. But from what I can gather, I don't know much about it, but it is a gothic fantasy that deals with magic and monsters and also has romance in it. So it kind of sounds like something I totally would be into, with romance and magic, and the gothic nature of it could be really cool. The fantasy elements worry me. Because depending on how fantasy it is or what kind of fantasy it is, I might hate it. But if it's like more like horror fantasy, I might be like super into it. So I'm not really sure. This could be hit or miss as well, but I thought the cover was absolutely beautiful and it sounded interesting. Like, it sounds like something I'd like. It really does. So I was kind of like, I'm gonna take a risk. I'm gonna take a leap. I'm gonna give it a go. Again, don't really know the major plot, but I like to go in blind to books, so I'm kind of excited to not know what it's really about and kind of just see how I feel about it. But it's absolutely stunning, just gorgeous. Next up is a book that I have been contemplating buying for a while, and I only didn't get it because I just kind of bought other things before I got this one, but this is Little Girls by Ronald Malfi, and I've wanted to read more by Ronald Malfi since reading Come With Me. I really enjoyed the writing and that story, so I've been looking forward to reading more from him, and this one I think sounds really interesting. So this is about this woman who returns to the home that she grew up in with her father like years later, and she brings her little girl with her, and then her little girl starts playing with another little girl, but her daughter's friend resembles the little girl that lived next door when she lived in the home who died. So, you know, ghosts, I'm assuming. Yeah, it says a ghost story, so I'm assuming this is gonna be like a haunting situation, which I'm very excited about. It sounds really cool. I really like this cover. I think it looks really cool. It's very pretty and eye-catching. Look at that hand. Oof. But I love ghost stories, and I think it sounds interesting and intriguing and like something that I would typically end up loving, and I just want to read more from Ronald Malfi. That's all. I just really want to check out more of his stuff, and I think this one sounds really good. Next up is a book that I've heard practically nothing about. I think I just found it while looking through Goodreads. I do that sometimes where I'm just like browsing Goodreads and I come across a book and I'm like, ooh, that sounds good. And that's kind of what happened with this one. And this is Lying Next to Me by Greg Olson. This one sounds so interesting. So this story is about a man and his wife and their 3-year-old daughter who go on vacation for Memorial Day, and while there, the husband actually witnesses his wife get abducted. And then he ends up going to the, I believe it's the cabin like next to them or close to them, and there's another couple there, and he kind of like is like, hey, have you seen anything? Do you know what's going on? But like they're suspicious, you know? And then more suspicious things happen. I mean, who's doing it? Is it the husband? Is it this random couple? Is it another random person? And I just think that's insane. The whole premise of just watching your significant other get abducted and you can't do anything, like you just see it happen and you can't do it, like you can't do anything about it. That's terrifying to me. That is like horrifying. So I think this premise sounds really good. I'm super excited for this one. I might read this soon. It sounds very exciting. I don't know. It sounds really cool. I'm excited for this one. So the next book that I got is The Twisted Ones by T. King Fisher. So I've never read anything by this author, but I am very excited to. I've heard really good things. I believe this is a folk horror novel, which folk horror and me don't necessarily get along all the time, so I'm a little bit worried because it's hit or miss, but I've heard good things about this book and a lot of people seem to like it, so I'm very interested. And this is about the main character named Mouse, and her dad asks her to clean out her grandmother's house, and her grandmother was like a hoarder, so it's kind of like a mess, and she ends up coming across her step grandfather's journal, and when she goes into like reading it, it seems kind of like he was raving about, you know, crazy stuff, like he's being like all crazy, you know, and so she kind of like dismisses it, but then she starts seeing things in the woods and she's alone and crazy, you know, stuff starts happening. And so then it's like, was he really crazy? 'Cause maybe not. And so yeah, I don't really know what to expect from this author because I've never read anything from them, but it sounds interesting. I saw someone on Goodreads compare T. Kingfisher to Darcy Coates. I don't know how accurate that is, but if they are similar, I will be very excited because I love Darcy. So I don't know, very excited. I've heard really good things. I'm hoping that I end up loving it. Okay, next up is Layla by Colleen Hoover. Now this is a romance novel, but I believe this is a paranormal romance novel. I think that's what people are saying. I really don't know much about this. I'm gonna go in blind. I don't really want to know the plot. I just want to read more Colleen Hoover after reading Verity and loving it so much. I've been kind of buying more of her books. I have It Ends With Us and Ugly Love, I believe, and then this one. So I have these 3 to check out, and this one seems very interesting. I've not read a lot of paranormal romance. It's not really my thing. It's not really like my vibe, but I'm always willing to give something a go once at least. And so I hope I like this. I really, really liked Verity. So I'm hoping I enjoy more by Colleen Hoover. I've seen people not like this one. I think the male character gets on a lot of people's nerves from what I've heard. I just hear that he's like a really crappy character. So I'm not really sure how I feel about it, but I want to give it a chance. I want to give it a go and just kind of see what it's like. Next up is another Ronald Malfi book, and that is Bone White. Again, I haven't heard too many people talk about this one, so I'm not really sure. Like I've said, I've only read Come With Me, and so I don't know how that one compares to his other books. But this one is about a mass murderer in Alaska, and the main character's twin brother actually went missing a year ago from that same area, and so he kind of goes there to get closure and kind of just grieve. When he gets there, he hears like superstitious things like about the devil making deals with people in the woods, and so I don't know if this is gonna be a mass murderer plus like something, you know, supernatural, or if it's like it's just one. So I'm not sure. I don't really know what to expect with this one, but it sounds interesting. It sounds like I might like it. I don't really know. Like I said, I don't know what I'm getting into with this or with this author. I've only read Come With Me, so I don't know how this one compares, but I am excited. It sounds interesting, so I'm hopeful. Okay, so the next book I picked up, 1, Winter, 2, everyone will not shut up about this book. Everyone loves it. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone raves about it, and I feel left out. So I decided to get it. I have no idea what this is actually about. Like I said, I didn't read the plot. I'm just getting it because people are talking about it. So it's supposed to be scary. This is The Winter People by Jennifer McMahon, and I don't know how I'm going to feel about this because people are comparing this to Pet Sematary by Stephen King, and I hated Pet Sematary. But maybe if it's written in a different way by a different person, I might love it. But this is basically about a town where like a bunch of people disappear. That's all I really know, to be honest. I didn't really read much into it because I kind of want to go in blind. But yeah, people say that it gives off Pet Sematary vibes and it's very similar. So maybe if I hate Pet Sematary, I'll love this. Or I could hate this just as much as I hate Pet Sematary. So I don't know. People are saying it's super scary. I don't know how I feel about that. Because every time someone says this is super scary, I feel like I'm in the minority, so we'll see, but it looks good. It has rave reviews. I'm excited. I hope it's good. I hope it's good. I hope it's good. So next up is a Lisa Jewell book. I actually bought 2 Lisa Jewell books because I told you after I read Then She Was Gone, I had to pick up more by her because I'm interested. I'm invested. I need to know. I need to read all of them now. And so the first one I got is The Girls in the Garden. I really, really like this cover. I think it's beautiful. Look at how pretty this is. So basically this one is about a picturesque living place. Like they live in a really nice area and nothing bad happens and everything's great all the time, and you know, people will never expect anything bad to happen there. And then one day a 13-year-old is found lying unconscious and bloody, and then everyone's like, whoa, what happened? Who did it? Everyone's a suspect. That kind of thing. I've seen some mixed reviews, but it's a thriller, so I'm not that surprised about it. Everyone has mixed reviews on thrillers, but I don't know. It sounds good. I'm excited. I want to see what it's like. Next up, the other Lisa Jewell book that I bought is I Found You. This one honestly interests me way more than the one I just mentioned, and that's because this is about this woman who finds this man on the beach in the British seaside, and he has no recollection of how he got there, who he is, any of that. Meanwhile, in London, this woman is waiting for her husband to come home, and he's like missing, and so she calls the police, and the police are like, ma'am, this person doesn't exist. I'm sorry, that sounds crazy and it sounds so interesting, and I need to know what's going on immediately. I need to read it pronto because it's so interesting to me. I do like the cover. Lisa Jewell's books are very pretty. I really like them. But this one's very intriguing. I am hooked just from the plot synopsis. So the next book I bought was one that I picked up on a whim. I don't know why I got it. It sounded interesting and I just got it on a whim, and that is The Godsend by Bernard Taylor. So this is a creepy evil child story, which honestly I think I need after reading The Push and hating it so much. So this is about this couple who has 4 kids, but they really want a baby girl, and then one day this woman leaves a baby girl on their doorstep, and so they're like, our prayers have been answered. But this baby girl, I think her name is Bonnie. Yes, is it Bonnie? Bonnie's like evil. She's gonna be an evil kid. A spawn of Satan? I don't know. But she's gonna be evil and bad things are gonna happen, and that intrigues me and excites me. It's very, very short, so also great. So I have no idea. I literally don't know anything about this book. Just bought it on a whim, randomly, just cuz, and we'll see. I have no idea if I'm gonna like it, but it sounds good, and I really want to read a creepy kid story, so I hope this hits me right in the creepy kid feels. Okay, and the last book in this haul is Small Horrors by Darcy Coates. This is a collection of 50 creepy stories. Look at how tiny this is. Like, look at how little this book is. It's small. It's cute. So this is just a short story collection of Darcy Coates, and honestly, it was the last one that I had to get. And I'm excited about it. I love Darcy, you know that. And so I'm really excited to just read some of her short stories because I really liked the ones that are behind some of the other books, like I think Dead Lake and Gillespie House, and some others have short stories behind them in the book, and I really enjoyed reading those. So I'm gonna be happy to just have like a book of her short stories and just kind of read them. I think they'll be fun. Darcy is just awesome, so of course I had to get it, you know that. Duh. Okay friends, that's going to do it for my haul. Those are the books that I have picked up for 2022 so far. Look, I'm not even gonna promise you that I won't be doing another haul soon. I can't promise you that. I can't. Like, I just can't. I'm sorry. I am who I am. I am an imperfect person, and the way I cope with anything is buying things. I have an addiction to shopping, and I love books, and books make me happy. So I am not sorry. I am not apologizing. I'm not doing it. I am happy to have these, and I am excited to read them, and I'm just not sorry. So you may see another haul soon. I don't know when, but maybe. Who knows? I'm not promising anything. I hope you enjoyed this haul. If you've read any of these, please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. We can chat. You can tell me what you thought. If you loved it, you hated it, you just liked it, you know. Let me know if you've bought any books since 2022 has started. If you have, I'm not, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. If you haven't, you're doing better than me, so congrats. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. It lets me know what kind of content you enjoy. That way I can keep providing you that kind of content. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We can become friends, talk about books, book covers, manga, horror, spooky things, all that stuff, and have a lot of fun doing it. I hope you are having a great day, night, morning, afternoon, wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!